here. Um, so yeah, like the title said, starting from zero. And so what I mean by that is because I'm starting in this wholesale, right? And over the last few days, there's been a few things that I've found out that stopped me from, or made me go from just kind of like easing into this thing to like trying to break through as quickly as I possibly can. So, in a lot of senses, like if you're a new contractor and you're trying to figure out how to get new business and everything else, I'm probably asking the same questions you're asking yourself now, which is like, how do I get more business, right? And so I just want to kind of share my thought process of how I'm going to get more customers, right? Or how to get my kind of first customers, right? Because I do have my subcontractors, but now it's like going after people that I have no relationship with, which is where you're at. Because you already probably went through your friends and family. You probably posted stuff on Facebook like, hey, I started a fence company or I started this company. And, if you know anyone, like send them my way kind of thing, right? And you kind of got some work from that. And then after you went through that, you're like, all right, what do I do next, right? So what I'm looking to do is kind of go after this from multiple different angles, right? So obviously, like with my core business, I do Google Ads quite a bit, and then also I'm able to rely on Google My Business. But at this point, it's going to be a brand new listing. I actually have to go and get that sucker on Google My Business as it is, or Google Business Profile. So that I have to do. So now it's kind of like guerrilla style marketing, right? So there's a few ways that you can do this, and this is what I'm personally doing. So what I did is I paid a virtual assistant in, I don't know where they're from, but basically I got them on Fiverr. And what I have them doing is scraping all the Google My Business listings. So I told her the counties that we're going to be servicing, and then from there I am getting all their information, all the company name, the address, phone number, email address, website, like all that stuff, right? So then what I'm doing is I'm going to literally just call people, right? So, and this is going to be something, between myself, my wife, we're going to both be doing this. She's honestly the natural salesperson. Me, I'm not, but I am going to call these people to figure out like how I can basically help them with their business, obviously gain their business, like that kind of thing. So for you, it's the same thing. So you can go and find complementary services, right? So if you are as a fence company, who's people that are most likely to recommend you, right? So number one is going to be realtors, because like when a person first moves in, they may not be super happy with the fence, and like right then is like typically where they're spending a lot of money. So you can do that. Then it could be like pool companies, it could be animal shelters, things like that, right? And but the whole thing is that we have to set a target of whatever it may be, 10 companies a day, 20 companies a day, 30, 40, 50, right? And it depends how much work you need, right? So if you are in desperate need, then you're going to call as many people as you possibly can. Now, so what's the cost for this, right? To scrape these lists, you don't have to manually do it yourself, because like time is of the essence, right? And I don't want to spend like days to like just go manually, like fence company near me, and go one by one by one, because that's one. It's only pulling fence companies. It's not pulling the landscapers that do the fence companies as well, right? And so anyway, if you don't want to do that, then you just hire someone. Again, I did it on Fiverr. I can put the link after I get their. They're supposed to be delivering that stuff to me today, so I'll see how that goes. And so, how much did the service cost? It for 50 leads. For 50 companies, it's $5. So in my case, it's just worth it. I don't want to be spending all this time. I'm working on the website, I'm working on marketing materials and all that kind of stuff. So therefore, I can have someone else do this. So that way they hand me the list and then we start calling, right? So that's the plan that we're doing. And again, that's the same as you. Like, it's very important. It's kind of like the same situation, to be honest with you. Because at the end of the day, like my goal is to get these fence companies, and they're buying from me more than once, right? Because like I already have the fence company, but like it takes like it's just one customer after the next, which is kind of like what you're going through if you're trying to get customers. But if you go after the realtors and stuff like that, there's like they're not going to order or they're not going to send you a new referral every single day, every single week, whatever it may be. But it's going to be more consistent than a one and done kind of thing, right? So that's number one. The other thing that we're doing is going to our current subcontractors, like I do it with my one main guy. Because no, like the one thing is like most of these guys, they don't really. Most companies don't talk to other companies for the most part, right? At least for fencing, like it's very territorial. But I feel like that's in every industry. So what we're doing, I reached out the ones he's already sent me business. So that's where you go to your current customers or your past customers and say, hey, I hope I did a great job for you, blah blah blah. Is there anyone that that needs my service, right? That needs a fence company, an AC guy, like whatever it may be. So you do that. Those are the two main things that we're doing right now. The next thing I'm doing is I'm getting like postcards printed. So we are doing like a huge August sale, and it's going to be significantly cheaper than the other companies. So, so between the phone calls, we're sending out these postcards as well. And then we're also going to be doing advertising. So what's going to happen is we're going to hit these people and basically be everywhere they look, right? Because whether, like, obviously with the phone call, we'll get that. With because we do have the emails, the email list, we are going to be emailing them as well. The problem with the emails is it doesn't go directly to their inbox. A lot of times it goes to the promotions tab, but that's okay as well. Okay. Then on top of that, we're going to be advertising, right? On Google, and we'll probably be doing Facebook ads as well. Could be on, could be the other ones as well. I have to figure that out. But basically, between and the postcards as well. So like wherever they go, like they're gonna see me. And a lot of times we think that we don't want to be annoying, but we need to be consistently showing up for whatever reason, right? If you're starting a new company, like you may send, just say you do just direct mail constantly. You send direct mail once a month, right? And that's probably what we're going to end up doing too. They may not need us in the first month, the second, the third, the fourth, the sixth, the 12th month. But maybe on that 13th month, they're having issues with their current supplier. Maybe they need something right away. So then they call, and because we're able to do it, we might be able to like earn their business for the first time, right? And then we like try to build that relationship. Okay. So that's as far as reaching out to people, like getting basically at the end of the day, like you have to let people they have to at least know you exist in order to get a customer. Okay. So that's basic, right? The other thing that we have to start doing is looking at, which I've been doing, and we've been working on this, is looking at what the current competition does, right? And look at what the competition is not doing, right? So look at it from a customer's perspective. And this is where you can go to your previous customers, like, hey, was there anything that you really enjoyed about our service that, like, other contractors haven't done, right? And then ask the other question, like, is there something that, even if it's crazy, like, is there something that, if we would have done this, it would have completely blown your socks off, right? And like, you could be asking that question, or also try to think of different things. Like, hey, would you like it if we would have done this? Would you like it if we would have done that, right? And by doing that, what we're trying to find is things that other companies aren't doing that are super valuable to your customers that you're trying to go after, right? Like for me, like I know I'm really good at advertising, right? I'm really good at getting people to call the phone. So what, and what talking to other contractors, especially new ones, like you don't know how to get the phone to ring. You don't know how to get people to call you, right? So that's where we're going to be coming in. We're going to be advertising for these companies, and we're basically setting up a system so that way we can get them leads, right? But then when we started looking at that, I'm talking to other contractors, small ones, like you're already too busy, right? It's kind of like you're in a catch 22 where you're so busy that you have no free time, but you don't have enough work to make the money you want to make, right? So then it's like, okay, it looks like we got to handle some of the front end customer service, right? Because it's not good enough. Like it's great. Step number one is getting them, their phone to ring more, because obviously if we get their phone to ring, they're booking jobs. Well, if we're helping them book the jobs, more than likely they're going to be going with us, right? So that's number one. But like number two is then they're going to get too busy and they're not going to be able to answer the phone calls and stuff like that. So the next thing we have to do is start handling the front end customer service, right? Now, what does this look like for you? Okay. Now, if you're not currently doing the permits and no one else is doing the permits in the area, well, maybe you need to start doing the permits, right? That's just one example. There could be other things. Um, Maybe I don't know what that is, but we're trying to alleviate some of the front end work for them to make it easier, so that way they can keep on moving forward. And it's the same thing for you. Like, what kind of front end work can you alleviate so that way they're more likely to go with you? Because at the end of the day, like customers, like a lot of times you're not competing with the other competitors. You're competing with the customers themselves. So if they want something done, but they see it like a huge amount of work to like get the process started, they're more than likely not going to do it. But if you're like, well, all you have to do is like click this button and I'm going to get started because I'm going to do this, this, and this for you, they're more likely to move forward, right? So anyway, so that's what we're doing. The next thing that we're doing is that I realized that a lot of new contractors, like they need to be shown how to run a business, right? So that's again where we're going to come in and we're going to do basically, I have to figure like the schedule, but I might do it every other week or maybe every once a month, something like that, where it's going to be these, or maybe on a weekly basis, I don't know, doing these training events. So it's not training on how to install a fence, which we probably will do at some point as well, but it's training events on like how to run your business, how to get more leads, how to do the Google My Business and stuff like that, right? And because it's a whole like cyclical approach where we need to like, fences is the very small part of this equation. It's very small, but it's building up everything else around it. Because it's not just they need fences. Like, with the leads, they need help with managing the crews. They need help with like all these different things. And if we show them how to do it, what's going to happen is they're, instead of only able to do like 2 jobs a week, well, if we can help them to or 1 job a week to 2 to 3 to 4 to 5 jobs a week, well, that means like from each customer, I'm basically generating 2, 3, 4, 5 times more profit, right? And the reason why I'm able to do that is because I'm helping them 2x, 3x, 4x, 5x. Like it's all like it's everything is like you have to give before you get, right? When you go to the store, you have to give them money before you can take that product out of the store, right? It's the same thing. So it's how do we build up value to these people, because then you're just going to get it in the return. It's not going to be dollar for dollar. It's not going to be like time for time. It's not like, hey, I helped you do this, like you got to pay me back kind of thing. But over time, it's that karma is going to build up and you're going to reap the rewards, because of it. So this could be for you showing them the process, like as a fence company, like we've posted videos on how to fix your fence. You know, rails pop out, do this. Your picket popped out, do this. Your latch not latching properly, do this, right? And so we're not gaining customers from that, but if they're talking to someone else and they're like, hey, do you know a fence company? It's like, hey, they actually, like, they were posting videos, they're super helpful. You may want to call them people, right? Or they move into a new house and now they don't need a fence adjustment. Like, they just need a fence in general. So there's a lot of things you can do. I'm going to kind of document this process that we're going through, but I'm pretty excited, like, to be honest with you. But I don't like to do things slow whatsoever. That drives me crazy. I want to go as quickly as we possibly can. So we do have a truck finally. The guy's picking it up. So that'll help the delivery situation. So that'll enable us to go from like 3 orders a day to like, and that was kind of more of a mess, to like 5 and 6 orders a day. So that's where we're kind of at this point. So that'll be nice. He picked that up yesterday. So it looks like we're going to start training with it on Tuesday because it's a tow truck type setup. So that's where it like literally rolls. The fence is going to roll off the back of the thing. So that's where we're at now. So like, there's always, I talked about before. There's basically the 4 areas of your business, which is getting the phone to ring, closing, selling those jobs, right? And then producing those jobs, and then knowing your numbers. Like, it's just the 4 things that we really need to know. Like, that's very simplified, but for the most part, that's what we need to know. So for me, like, I'm in the well, we've worked at it from different angles. So like the benefit for me is like because it's more than just one person, we are able to do multiple things at once, right? And this is where you're like outsourcing your labor, right? So, for me, it's like, how do we get the phone to ring? Well, we're doing the opposite. Like, we're physically calling these people, right? And I'm able to do that because we're having someone scrape those lists for me, okay? Selling the jobs, that's more of probably that other, like, that's the marketing material that's going to be training them, like things like that, providing value, right? So because we have the fence calculators and everything else, and like even if they don't buy from us, we're going to like let them use these tools for free because we know they're using this on a daily basis. They're going to see our name on a daily basis. It's only natural at some point they're going to end up buying from us, right? And then producing the jobs. So that's multi, for us, it's 2 separate areas. So it's like within the warehouse, and then that's also like delivering the jobs, right? So we're working on that. I have the warehouse end taken care of because we have the 3 people in the warehouse. So we can realistically handle about 4 jobs, 5 jobs tops a day. Once I get back into the warehouse, right now it's 3 jobs a day, but that's fine. I'm happy with 3 jobs a day. So that's where we're at with that. And then knowing the numbers, that's where you physically have to know like how much profit and stuff you're making. So for me, this is very like transactional. So like that stuff's easy. But for like you want to be writing this stuff down. I do have the profit planner. It's a one-time fee of $27. It will save you time. It will save you money. It will make you more money. That'll help you save more time. The reason or the way it does it is you basically put in your information, like your jobs, like they'll always have different jobs. After you put in your different types of jobs and the profit and the time it's spent, you physically spent on that, what it's going to be able to start showing you is what your most profitable job is. And you may think it's the ones that's the highest dollar value, right? But you might realize with this program that there's a certain job within that makes you way more money than anything else. And because we've seen it, you know. The other way that it helps is it'll start showing you, like, I realize that contractors, just in general, is that the fear of the unknown is worse than like trying something new. Like, people are more likely to run away from danger than run towards opportunity, right? And this is just because how we were, the caveman days and everything else. Like, if there was a watering well, and because water was, just say scarce, you know, and there was the potential for there to be predators or whatever else, like you're going to stay away from that watering hole. Like you would end up finding another one, or just say there was predators at that, and there was like a 50-50 chance of you like surviving or not surviving. You are going to go to a different watering hole, right? And the reason is because we're just built to like stay away from danger because we need to stay alive, right? So anyway, with this program, it will show you what's going to happen to your business before you make any changes, right? So it's going to alleviate the fear of the unknown. And because of that, you're going to see crystal clear on paper that I need to be doing this. And it even shows you calculators, like there's like, I don't know, 6 or 7 different calculators that will show you what's going to happen before you do it. And like doing everything on your own is like when I say like you need to hire people if you want to like make more money. You're like, well, it costs me more money. Yes and no. You'll see on this thing that you'll go from like working 80 hours a week down to like 30 by hiring someone. Like it's crazy. And they're like, yeah, but there's a like cost of that. Yeah. Well, it shows you based upon like your numbers, how many jobs that you need to book for the week. And like you'll go from needing like just like 3 jobs a week to like 3.5 jobs a week. Like it's not as big as what you think. So anyway, excited about what's going to happen. Kind of in the same boat as you guys, like I said. So now it's kind of like getting down and dirty and kind of doing the work that no one else is willing to do, right? So especially it's easier for I think contractors going after homeowners because now you can go after again the realtors. The realtors probably number one for a lot of things. But because if you're doing home remodels or additions or painting, flooring, whatever it may be, the realtor's probably